Good morning. It is day 3 and it's feeling good. Got a pretty good rest last night and we're back at it again. I'm alive. Everybody's alive. That's great. No bears drug us out of our tents last night. Although I was called a sissy for wearing a bear bell by the guide. But I told him better a live sissy than a dead duck. So, recap of yesterday. We came down from the first camp and did some fishing. Got on some good fish. Caught some fish for dinner. Set up camp, and we're at the confluence of 2 rivers right here. A lot of salmon. Spawned out salmon are kind of crowded in right here, so we've been fishing that. Miss Donna has been just putting a whooping on them, and now here we are, about ready to break camp on day 3. We're gonna head on down and keep at it. Maybe get on some king salmon. Keep getting on these salmon. The trout will probably thin out a little bit, but we'll just keep plugging away. And the weather's getting cooler, so hopefully the weather holds up pretty good. Not really any rain, so no complaints. Everything is great, all is well. So let's keep going to day 3. All right, so Luke, what's the game plan for day 3?
Day 3, so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be mainly salmon fishing. We're going to try to start finding some silvers. The farther down we get from the mouth of the river or from the lake, we should start running into some more hopefully more fresh fish, harder fighting fish, and hopefully start running into some silvers. It's still kind of early, so they're not quite up this far yet, but we're going to see how far up they are. There's some good trout fishing, grayling, and char fishing as well, so we're just going to try to basically catch everything in the river.
And go ahead.
Oh no, we're just keep doing what we're doing. When we find the fish, pull over, catch them, and move on. So,
what kind of lures and tackle are we gonna be using?
Basically we're gonna be using our standard spinners, our Met spinners, number 5s, good old number 5s, pink and chartreuse, and then we have some pink and white streamers that we normally use on fly rods, but we can rig them to use with spinning gear just as effectively. And yeah, we're just gonna keep the same program, same lures, just try to find more fish. Same quality of fish. Quality's been good, numbers have been good, but not as good as I'd like to see this far up. But the trout and the resident species like the trout and the grayling and the char are kind of scattered because of the influx of salmon that are coming up. The sockeye are done. I've only seen a handful of sockeye for the past couple days, but there's a lot of chums still in the river, and chums are paired up, which means they're spawning and laying eggs, and the sockeye have already laid them, so there's plenty of food in the water for the trout and all the resident species. So we'll probably throw some bead patterns as well once we get farther down. The river kind of breaks apart into more, it's called the braids, so it makes little side channels, and you can take 20 different side channels and it'll lead to different parts of the river. Obviously it all comes back to the main body eventually, but the river from here on out kind of splits up, gets wider, and just kind of divides itself off into little islands. So there's lots of little places where the fish can hide, and once you find them, there's usually quite a few in there. So it's going to be a good day.
All right, it is day 3 and we're on the water. It's getting a little cooler, like I said before, and but we're gonna get after these fish, probably float along for a couple hours and make it happen. just caught a nice rainbow. There she is. That was a good fight. King salmon, man. Luke put us on a honey hole out here. It's pretty sweet. The two sides of the stream come together at the end of an island, and that's pretty nice. So gonna keep fishing. Sockeye salmon. Sweet. You gonna say yes. All right, so we are at our campsite for the day. We had a great float, caught a bunch of good fish, and we caught some king salmon, we caught some rainbow, and we caught some coho salmon. So we're at our campsite. We're about to get everything set up. Yeah, so this is what it's come to. Gnats flying in my face. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, so I've got my face mask because of the gnats. So, this is a grind. Packing up, loading the raft, getting to camp, unloading the raft. Day in, day out, it's a grind. I didn't really think this through, but we're in day 3 of 6, so we're halfway through. We're on the downhill descents after today. So if these gnats don't drive me crazy, and if the setting up and taking down these tents every day doesn't drive me crazy, I'll be okay. So this is probably the worst part about it. I didn't think it out very well, but here we are, and we're gonna get this thing set up, and we're gonna keep it pushing. It's part of the journey, part of the adventure. Halfway done. So, talk to you soon. All right, we are going to get firewood. We're done with breakfast, and where we're camped is kind of like a tundra that we're camped on. See? Or we're done with dinner rather, and we're going to get firewood and it's kind of sparse, but there's some dead spruce trees out here. And so we're gonna go get those, but it's very sparse, very tundra-like terrain in the gnats. And so gonna go get some firewood, make a fire, relax, and wrap up our night. Right now it's 11 o'clock back in Texas, so that means it's 8 here, and as you can see, the sun won't set probably till about 11 o'clock. So we'll just hang out till about 10:30, and then go to bed at around that time. So let's see. So that's what we're using for firewood.
Yeah.
What you think?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll drag this back to camp, go from there. And we've got a nice little fire going. So that's what we're looking like. Just saw a bear over there eating, or fishing rather, back over that way. He was out there grabbing fish, finally got a big salmon, went back in there. So it was pretty cool. Pretty good sized bear too, so keeping our eye out. But the interesting thing is, most of the bears that we see are on the opposite side of the river. They're on the left side of the river, because the left side of the river is like a game preserve. And so I guess they kind of know that hunting and everything is protected over on that side, so everything has been on that side. We haven't seen much trace of bears, much of anything as far as bear related activity, not a whole lot. We haven't seen any bears on the right hand side of the river. Coincidentally, we always camp on the right side of the river, so it works out perfect. But all the bears we've seen, this is probably our second bear or third bear that we've seen today. They're always on the left side. So I don't know, we may see more when we get further down tomorrow. So we'll just have to wait and see. I know the last time that Luke was here, our guide Luke, was floating this river a month or so ago, maybe, or 3 to 6 weeks ago. He said that they counted 84 bears. 84 bears. Now we've only seen like 3 or 4 bears. 84 is crazy, but the fish aren't really running real strong right now. So there's not a whole lot of sockeye salmon in there, so they're kind of, he said they're kind of scattered out and dispersed, and they're not really concentrated in on the river, so we've only seen a few of them. So we'll keep our eyes peeled, see what happens. Hey bear! All right, so we got a bear circling our camp. He's not very scared of us. He's not overly concerned about us, but he's not very scared. So that's crazy. They wanted a bear, they wanted a close encounter, and a bear walked up from the river right here, right into our camp, and circles around like not even 20 yards away from our camp, and he's just looking at us like, hey, what's up guys? And so he's walking around kind of checking us out, not too concerned. I don't know if he had an agenda. I think he came up here to check us out, honestly, because he knew we were here. But he eventually meandered his way on out into the brush, so we don't see him now. So that was definitely a close encounter of the bear kind, and that was a little too close for comfort for me. But the bear whisperer right here, just a day in life. So we're definitely keeping our eyes peeled.